see what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Good morning, friends, and happy Monday. Welcome to TV8's Good Morning Vail for Monday, August the 23rd, 2021. This is a live shot of the Eagle County Regional Airport right there. And I am one of your hosts today, Eric Sundblad, alongside the anamorphed Maddie Evans, who has turned into a golden retriever that I have named Minnie. How are you doing this morning, Maddie? Minnie? Yeah, she's doing great. Look at those chin scratches. It's a little bright up here on the couch for the new Maddie. So she may go wandering off or come to snuggle with Dad. Who knows what these little Goldens are going to do. We're having a great day here on the couch. Maddie Evans is out on assignment today, but have no fear. She will be back to guide you through your mornings tomorrow. So it's just me this morning, and we've got a busy show on Good Morning Vail today. We've got 4 interview guests coming in. We've got Kenny Thayer from Vail Country Club. You know, it's a shake. What was a good shaker? We've got Allison from the Vail Chambers. We've got Todd Rear from Mine House, and we've got Claire Noble from Vail Symposium. And it's going to be a great show here for you today. And this week, you know, we're kind of winding down our summer season. The kids are back in school all across the nation now, but there's still some great free live concerts going on in Eagle County. The one that I really want to focus on is tomorrow night. That's the Hot Summer Nights in Vail. They have got a legit band. None of this local stuff. Much love to you locals, but they've got the Wailers coming in. So no more jam bands, straight reggaeton. It's going to be a blast tomorrow. Free concerts, Gerald R. Ford Amphitheater. Doors open at 5 p.m. You're going to want to be there for the biggest show of the summer, the Wailers at Gerald R. Ford Amphitheater. And then, of course, free concerts in the park in Nottingham on Wednesdays here in Avon. And we're getting to the last couple weeks here of these free concerts. So get out and enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, because fall is right around the corner, as evidenced by the slightly cooler conditions this morning. I was surprised to find some sprinkles in the air when I was taking Minnie on her morning walk, but those should work their way out of Eagle County here in no time. We're going to have a gorgeous day. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was a big weekend for your Battle Mountain Huskies, and I'm going to be covering that on tonight's Scoreboard. That's going to air at 6 p.m. It'll go live on YouTube tomorrow. I'm going to take you through all the scores of your Battle Mountain Huskies as they opened their soccer season, boys soccer season, with 2 non-league games. You know, last year they didn't face many big opponents from Denver. They kind of were better than most of the competition they faced last year. So these 2 games, the first one against Durango, second against Mullen, big tests to start the year off. When I did my season preview interview with a couple players and Coach David Cope, their big focus was getting tuned up for those big teams that they would eventually face in the playoffs, because last year they went undefeated and then immediately lost. Well, they made it to the second round of the playoffs, but you know, it's all about those big teams and getting prepared for them. So let's see how the Battle Mountain Huskies did this weekend, tonight at 6 p.m. on the Scoreboard. You want to hear the score, but I'm not going to spoil things for you. You're going to have to tune into the Scoreboard to find out how your Huskies did. Big weekend sports coming up this week as well. We've got 2 golf tournaments. On Tuesday, the Huskies will actually be live in Gypsum, so if you want to cheer them on, head on down to Gypsum on Tuesday for that tournament. There's also a boys soccer game on Tuesday night. We've got girls volleyball kicking off in a couple weeks. Football, they have their first away game this week, and then they'll get home starting September 10th. So things are fully kicking off here with the fall sports season. And boy, what a blast it was covering the Huskies. And, you know, on my calendar, you know, the personal things that I love in a couple weeks, circle next Friday for the debut of the new MCU movie, Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's been way too long since we had a full MCU, brand new character launching into Phase 4. I'm excited to see what new MCU actor Simu Liu can do with that role. It's going to be a great film for just highlighting Asian American actors and putting them at the forefront, giving those people a great hero to look up to. So excited for next Friday. But for now, let's take a short break. We got a busy show in store for you, but I want to come back with a look at your local weather forecast.
Good morning, Vail.
All aboard!
Step on, take a look around, and take a listen. Relax to the rhythm of the train on the tracks. For the kids, and the kid in all of us, the Leadville, Colorado and Southern Railroad.
Located in sunny San Diego, just steps from one of the most prestigious beaches in California. I'm Stephanie J. This is the Opulent Minute. Located just a half a block to La Jolla Shores Beach, this property has amazing outdoor space, which includes a large deck off the living room and decks off each bedroom. The jacuzzi on the back patio is perfect for relaxing in after a long day at the beach. I'm here with Andres, the owner of Dinner with a Chef. Tell us a bit about the services that you offer.
We offer personal chef experiences for any occasion where you're able to enjoy your guest while leaving the rest to us.
For more information, visit opulentvacations.com. The open, contemporary design, complete with marble flooring and modern appliances, make this the ultimate luxury beach accommodation. Opulent Vacations' signature concierge service is included with every reservation. I'm heading down to the beach to soak up some sun. Thanks for watching the Opulent Minute. Book now at opulentvacations.com.
I'm Clinton Griffiths, the host of Ag Day Television. Get the latest news about crops, livestock, rural living, and so much more from our award-winning team. Follow the food you eat from the field to the store to your table every day, because what's happening on the farm matters to you and your family. Watch Ag Day weekdays.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history.
All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
Good morning, Vail.
Blue skies saying hi this morning, all the way up in Leadville from Colorado Mountain College. You can see the clouds that brought us a little bit of sprinkles this morning working their way out, getting burned off by the early morning sun. And we've got a beautiful day in store for us here in Eagle County after those little passing morning showers. Today we should get as high as 77 degrees at the base of Vail after opening things up around 46 degrees, and that 10% chance of showers pretty much already occurred. There's a small percentage chance that they may hit us this afternoon, but for the most part it's going to be a beautiful sunny day to get out there and enjoy whatever activities you're doing, or just stare longingly at the blue sky from your office window. Who knows what you got going on this Monday. I know the poor kids in school are probably going to be looking outside reminiscing about fun summer times. Low of 45 degrees this evening, just about a 5% chance of some passing showers working their way through. Should be a beautiful night, big full moon out there this evening, very cloudless skies. Now let's pan our view out, take a look at the national map, more specifically what's happening to the west of us, as that really determines our temperature sets right now. And the big thing is this low pressure system that's sort of around the San Diego area. That should be slowly working its way over to us here by about the Thursday time frame. But before that, this big high pressure ridge is just going to be sweeping through, giving us beautiful warm conditions right about mid-70s for the remainder of the week. As we look ahead to the 5-day forecast, there's that Thursday low pressure system, about a 45% chance of that bringing us some showers on Wednesday and Friday, where you're seeing that 20 and 10% chance. That is isolated afternoon showers, nothing serious. I-70 through Glenwood Canyon should be able to remain open throughout this week unless Thursday takes a turn that we are not seeing in our current forecast models at the moment. But temperatures right around the upper 70s to touching on 80 on Wednesday. That's going to be some great weather for your afternoons, post-work, post-school. Get out and enjoy a hike, potentially a paddle around Lake Nottingham, whatever suits you. Should be gorgeous conditions for that Tuesday evening soccer game as well as the Tuesday and Monday golf tournament. So great things going on there. Now let's take a little break and we're going to come back with Kenny Thayer and Vail Country Club on the couch right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Each week on the Tech Show, you can look forward to the latest in technology and how you can use it too. We'll also chat with leading experts and you'll find out if the latest gadget will take my money or not. Don't miss the Tech Show. Tech your local listings. All aboard!
Step on. Take a look around. And take a listen. Relax to the rhythm of the train on the tracks. For the kids, and a kid in all of us, the Leadville, Colorado and Southern Railroad.
Follow your favorite extreme sports athletes with the Telly Award-winning show, The Line. If you're an adrenaline junkie and need a daily dose of base jumping, skydiving, highlining, biking, kayaking, and more, then look no further. We've got you covered. Catch JT Holmes, Andy Lewis, Cam Zink, and many more extreme sport athletes here on The Line. Check your local listings for more information.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history.
All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
Welcome aboard! Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, while we wait for our guests from Vail Country Club to arrive, I wanted to give you guys a little preview of the boys' golf season this year. And I met with Coach Drew Jones a couple weeks ago to kind of give us a preview of what he's thinking is in store for our Huskies boys' golf team. So let's go catch up with Coach Drew Jones right now. Coming off of a season where 2 players made it to state, we have high hopes for the Battle Mountain Huskies golf program. And since they're the first sport to start up this fall season, I wanted to catch up with Coach Drew Jones of the Battle Mountain Huskies golf team. Drew, thank you so much for joining me, dude.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. Anything for TV8 and my man right here.
Oh, thank you, dude.
Yeah.
So right now, you guys are kind of in the practice tryout phase. How has that been going? Have you seen anybody kind of stepping up to the plate?
Yeah, you know, we lost a couple, like my 1 and 2. A couple of younger guys are showing up, and I'm pretty impressed with some of our freshmen and sophomores. It's obvious that they were practicing during the off season, and and we have quite a group of seniors that I'm really excited to see them in tournament play.
Okay. And you've kind of been watching them step up through their entire kind of high school careers here?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple kids that, shooting in the 90s even last year, and now posting some scores, 75s, 74s, 76s. So it's pretty impressive. It's going to make it pretty hard choice this week with tryouts.
Oh, man. Yeah, I hate to be on the end of that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, we don't have cuts. We have a developmental team. We have our varsity letter winners that usually come out to the tournaments. They're selected for that. But, I don't want to keep a kid away from coming out for the golf team and fears of not making it.
Well, that's because golf is a very open sport. You don't want to be unwelcoming to people.
No, especially with that. I played soccer in high school. If I went out for the golf team my freshman year, I definitely would not have made it.
Yeah.
But if I would have stuck with it through junior, senior year, it probably would have been a sport that I, would have had a lot more passion for then, more so than I'd even do now.
Yeah. Well, it's such a unique sport to think of as a team mentality because it is known as such an individual sport. How does the team aspect come into play?
Yeah, every tournament it's almost like two games in a tournament. You got the individual side and you have the team side. So each tournament there's a top team and a top individual, and goes first through third there, and we get a medal even if we're second place team or third place individual typically. So it's always interesting because I'll have bring 4 or 5 kids to a tournament, and 2 of them are kind of blowing up saying they hate golf, but I'm like, think about your team. All right, we bogey in, okay, it's all good. We still have a fight. So it's kind of nice to keep those guys that are kind of hating golf at that moment in time, as we all do at some point.
It's such a tricky sport. It just takes so much consistency, and just millimeters off on a swing can throw everything off balance.
Right. And you could have the perfect swing and just get unlucky hitting a rock, hitting sprinkler head, something.
Yeah.
You can't get too upset about it, and that's kind of what I try to instill in my kids. So
is that kind of the best practice for coaching golf, is just staying even keel and level-headed?
Absolutely. If you ever watch any of the players on the PGA Tour, they get a birdie and they don't fist pump often. They just, it's ho-hum. They get a double bogey. Again, ho-hum. You can't have that roller coaster ride in golf.
Yeah. Any particular courses that have given you guys historically any trouble that are coming up this year?
Probably all of them at one point in time, but we have shown up at all of them at some point in time. It's my third year doing this, especially with the boys, and I've seen us be successful each and every one of them. I've also seen us, be excited for dinner that evening. So
that's how golf goes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Either way, as long as they're having a smile after it, it's kind of the goal.
Yeah. With all high school sports.
Absolutely.
It's just about encouraging them to get out there and have fun and stay active.
Absolutely.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, any courses that stand out that you can't wait to go back and play, that the boys are just like real hyped on?
Battlement Mesa, that's our first tournament next week. Last year they had aerated the greens, and our guys all played really well. I think out of the 4 guys that went last year, there was probably 33 putts, maybe some 4 putts. The ball would start on a line and then get in that aeration mark and just kind of veer off to the side. So I actually have 2 of my guys that are very excited to go play there again because they really enjoy the course there. It's a challenging course, but it's very fair, wide open fairways. But it's just an interesting layout that the kids seem to enjoy quite a bit.
Okay. How about the local one here down in Gypsum?
Yeah, Gypsum Creek is always a fun one. It's always interesting watching the kids play there because I play there a lot myself, and seeing the shots that they can produce as high schoolers is always very encouraging because at times I can't make some of those shots.
Yeah. Kids, man,
I know,
they're so athletic these days.
Absolutely.
It's insane, all the training that they get.
Oh my gosh, all the kids now coming up. There's a 14-year-old in southeastern United States that shot like a 62 like for U.S. Open qualifying.
At 14.
Yeah.
And you would think with golf you would need more strength and muscle mass, but it's really more about momentum.
Absolutely. I mean, you see all shapes and sizes out there, all ages and abilities. So
yeah,
I've caddied for guys that are in their 60s, and they shoot a couple under par. I've also caddied for some really skinny guys that bomb the ball 300 yards, and some really large guys that bomb the ball 300 yards. So it's always that's another exciting part about the game of golf, especially at the high school level, is you can be this tall, you can be that tall. I mean, there's a possibility for you to be good.
Sport for everybody.
Absolutely.
Come on and try out.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So first tournament coming up, Battlement Mesa next weekend.
Yeah, next week on, I believe it's Thursday. Not this coming week with tryouts, but yeah, following week. We were going to do a tournament in Aspen on Monday. However, that's the first day of school.
Probably want them to go to school, I guess.
Yeah, they're student athletes. So,
yeah, the student comes first in that one, right?
Unfortunately. At times. I can't say that I'm a school teacher.
Awesome, Drew. Well, looking forward to covering you guys all season long. I'll be sure to catch up after that Battlement Mesa tournament. Maybe we can bring a kid on and get his thoughts on how it went.
Absolutely. We're always there for you.
Excellent, my friend. Right. Tune in to the Battle Mountain Huskies golf team and all of your Battle Mountain Huskies sports here on the Scoreboard. We got plenty more Scoreboard coming up right after this.
Go Dogs.
Good morning, Vail.
My name's James, and I've been in the market for mortgages several times over the years, so I've gone through the process with different people. And when I met Andrea, she explained to me why my current loans were subpar and how she could get better loans with better rates.
If I had to describe Andrea in one word, I think I would use the word passionate. She is very passionate about what she does and getting the right solutions for her clients, and that made her an absolute pleasure to work with.
Hi, I'm Andrea Cox. You can reach me at 435-631-9262. Call me, text me, or you can reach me at my website, andreacoxmortgage.com.
Beautiful sandy beaches and lush tropical gardens make San Diego the perfect destination for your next luxury getaway. I'm Stephanie J. This is the Opulent Minute. This home has amazing charm and style. You'll feel refreshed in this La Jolla Shores beauty. I'm here with Lauren, the owner of Pop-Up Picnic Co. Tell us about the services you offer.
We're a luxury picnic service. Our claim to fame is a one-stop picnic experience that we bring throughout San Diego.
Book Pop-Up Picnic Co. through our concierge services page on opulentvacations.com. The open concept living and dining room easily flow to a comfortable and inviting deck. The enclosed and spacious yard provide plenty of room for outdoor entertainment, with easy access to some of the best shopping and dining San Diego has to offer. Whether it's relaxing on the property or enjoying fun activities at the beach, the Shores Retreat La Jolla has something for everyone. Thanks for watching the Opulent Minute. Book now at opulentvacations.com.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history.
All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
Follow your favorite extreme sports athletes with the Telly Award-winning show, The Line. If you're an adrenaline junkie and need a daily dose of base jumping, skydiving, highlining, biking, kayaking, and more, then look no further. We've got you covered. Catch JT Holmes, Andy Lewis, Cam Zink, and many more extreme sport athletes here on The Line. Check your local listings for more information.
Good morning, Vail.
I always enjoy flexing my brain power a little bit, and that's why Vail Symposium is such a wonderful organization for Eagle County, bringing in fascinating and intelligent guests to walk through anything that's going on the world stage. And we've got Claire Noble from Vail Symposium here with us. Claire, as always, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you for having me on this morning, Eric. You know, I was thinking about how most of our speakers, really all of our speakers, are experts in whatever their field is. But the speakers we have coming this week aren't just experts, they're legends, and they're incredibly well known.
They
Judy
kind of know everything, a little bit about everything.
Yeah, and we've talked about these two before. Their experience, Judy Woodruff, Al Hunt, newspapers, podcasts, online, and on broadcast television. And 40 years, pretty much each, actually longer than that, probably closer to almost 60 years for Al Hunt. He started in 1965.
That's a heck of a career in media.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Do they have any topics that they've kind of sent along that they want to discuss, or is it open forum, or what's kind of the focus going to be?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk them through. I mean, I think everybody wants to know, well, why journalism? You could have done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Why journalism? I also want to know, in particular for Judy, I mean, here's somebody who was covering presidential campaigns and conventions in 1976. Not a lot of women on the air during that time. Did she have mentors? And for two people who've been in the business as long as they have they mentored people along the way? I also want to talk to them about the changes in the media landscape. You know, they've had several big shifts. Certainly the rise of cable news in the late 80s and 90s, and then about a decade later, the rise of internet news. And you know, now, according to the Pew Research Center, about a third of Americans say they get their news from social media.
Which is just dangerous as all get up.
Well, because there aren't the journalistic standards there that somebody who works for a major newspaper, LA Times, Denver Post, has to have.
Yeah, somebody will just do a quick Google search and then consider themselves an expert based off of completely unsourced sort of information, because there's no limit to what you can write on the internet, and then you just click share on Facebook and 10,000 ants are out there believing that they should be eating, what was it, the cow deworming agent to help cure COVID? Like, no, there's a vaccine that's free.
That's a real head scratcher that people would use veterinary medicine over a vetted and now approved vaccine.
Yeah, I mean, it's social media right there.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the power of social media. The other thing we want to address also is bias in the media. And we never want to ask our speakers gotcha questions. We don't want to make our speakers look bad. That's not why we haven't brought them here to rake them over the coals. Yeah. But I think it's fair to ask some strong questions, and I actually think these are probably questions they're very used to.
Mm-hmm. I think bias in the media has been a huge focus of the general population for the past 4.5 years, ever since really Trump came in and started hammering on any news source that wasn't Fox News, that they're not fair to him and that they're biased.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of gaining ratings, obviously you find your market and you want to speak to them, but you like to think that the major networks are not implicitly biased, like telling straight lies in order to swing things in their favor.
So one of the questions I want to ask about is the fairness doctrine, which was imposed by the federal, whoever does the airways.
That would be the FCC, I believe, right?
Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's early.
I know, right?
So that was imposed in the late 1940s, and then it was removed in the late 1980s. And there's a lot of people who say we should bring the fairness doctrine back. And what that required was that anybody broadcasting would have to provide both sides of an issue. Now, it wouldn't apply to cable, but it would apply to anybody using the public airways.
Yep.
And I really want to know, because they both worked when it was in place and then when it wasn't, whether or not they think it would do any good.
Yeah.
But anyway, that program is actually sold out,
Yeah.
which we're very happy about. We are requiring masks at our programs. I know that the Villar and the Ford Amphitheater did announce that they are going to check for vaccination status. We haven't, but we will send out an email if that changes, but we don't intend to do that.
Yeah, well, better safe than sorry. You're in a fairly smaller space. Is it at Vail Interfaith Chapel?
It is at the Vail Interfaith Chapel, and we haven't packed it to the gills like we normally try to do. Yeah. We will have a slightly smaller audience, and again, everybody will need to be masked.
Okay, excellent. Well, what's coming up in the future then, if this week's sold out?
Well, next week we have our historian, Clay Jenkinson. So sometimes you see that question of, if you could sit down to dinner with anybody, and who would it be? And oftentimes it's, people talk about it's a dead relative or it's a historical figure.
Yeah, you hear Abraham Lincoln a lot.
I think, yes, you hear Abraham Lincoln. I think you also hear Thomas Jefferson and some of the founding fathers, Ben Franklin. And so we have a chance for you to sit down with Thomas Jefferson on Monday night, because our historian, he will appear as Thomas Jefferson. He's a Jeffersonian scholar. He runs the Jefferson Hour podcast. That's Monday night, and we'll be at the Donovan for that program. And then the next night we'll be at the Beaver Creek Chapel, which is a beautiful facility. And that night he will be Theodore Roosevelt.
He could play two different characters. He's that much of an expert, not characters, historical figures.
Yes, he is that much of an expert. And you'll get the chance to hear from the president and then ask questions of the president. And at the end, then he kind of comes out of character, and then you ask questions about the historian. And certainly for somebody like Thomas Jefferson, he was an amazing human being. Amazing. He was our first Secretary of State. He was a vice president, and he was the first president from a different party. So on our third election, our country changed political parties, which when you stand up a new governmental system, a new democracy, that's always dicey. And you look at some of these other countries where that doesn't happen sometimes for decades or generations.
Yeah. It's a quick shift for such a fresh country, too.
Exactly.
And then the final thing you wanted to touch on is this book that you've got there.
Right. So this is a program we have coming up in mid-September. It will be a webinar, because in the future, about half of our programs will be webinar and half will be in person. And I just got this. You can't get it yet. This is an advanced copy. Ooh. It's coming out on September 21st. Dr. Catherine Hayhoe. She is the Chief Science Officer at the Nature Conservancy. And earlier this year, I saw her on Fareed Zakaria's GPS, and I was like, oh, she's amazing. And she talks a lot about global weirding, about how global warming is intensifying things. For instance, hurricanes. There aren't more hurricanes, but the hurricanes we have are more intense. And one of the reasons for that is that the waters that these hurricanes build in are warmer, and that warmer water causes these more intense storms. But this book is really not, so far, I'm about 50 pages in, filled necessarily with facts and figures. Because what she's found is that that's not exactly what convinces people. And the other thing, we tend to simplistically talk about climate change as there are people who believe in it, and then there are the deniers. There's actually a spectrum of people. And at one end, you have the super alarmed people. More in the middle, you have the cautious. And then you get to the other end, and you have the dismissive. And she cautions you not to try to talk to those folks, but to talk to people who are more perhaps doubtful or cautious, and try to find common ground. And certainly up here in the mountains, we can find common ground around our natural beauty. And we've had Colorado in particular, but the entire American West has had to deal with more intense wildfires the last few years. We have situations right now where New Mexico farmers are going to have their water cut off early this year. Arizona farmers also are being threatened with a decrease in their water because we just haven't had the rainfall and we didn't have the snowpack.
And potentially 5 years down the road, will the Hoover Dam be operable? As we saw with the mudslides in Glenwood Canyon, almost shutting down the Hoover Dam.
That's a really great point, because it's not just water, it's also power. Because those dams are also hydroelectric.
Fascinating stuff. So glad that you were shining a light on these things with Vail Symposium. Thank you so much for joining us on the couch this morning, Claire.
Thanks
it sounds like a really fun week this week with Judy Woodruff, and then next week with the Theodore Roosevelt and Thomas Jefferson. I want to say impersonator, but that's not what he is. Character, actor, historian.
They call them Chautauqua characters. But most people are like, But so I say a historical reenactor, but when I use the term reenactor, I'm thinking of like Civil War guys out on, a meadow in Virginia.
Exactly, not on a stage in Beaver Creek. But great stuff going on with Vail Symposium. Check out vailsymposium.org for a list of all of their latest upcoming events and to secure yourself tickets. We got more Good Morning Vail coming up next.
Good morning, Vail.
All aboard!
Step on. Take a look around. And kid in all of us. The Leadville, Colorado and Southern Railroad.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history.
All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
Welcome aboard! Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Follow your favorite extreme sports athletes with the Telly Award-winning show, The Line. If you're an adrenaline junkie and need a daily dose of base jumping, skydiving, highlining, biking, kayaking, and more, then look no further. We've got you covered. Catch JT Holmes, Andy Lewis, Cam Zink, and many more extreme sport athletes here on The Line. Check your local listings for more information.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, we've got some amazing local bed and breakfasts here in Avon. We're always happy to have Mine House joining with us. Usually we've got Tamara in the kitchen showing off what kind of incredible breakfast they cook. Today we've got Todd Rear from Mine House. Roar. I always do that.
That's okay. It's okay.
We've got Todd Roar from Mine House here, but he's not just a bed and breakfast owner. He's also a local community advocate, if you will. He's been centered on the Avon recall elections. So let's touch on a couple things here. I do want to focus in on Mine House eventually.
Yeah, sure.
But,
however you want to do that. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, don't worry.
It's your show.
I'm a master of segue.
You are great. Yeah,
you
are the chatty guy. Yeah. All right. Cool.
So first off, just Avon recall elections. Now, background for our audience. After some tumultuous sort of occurrences and a judge overturning the fact that the recall would need to, the recall elections are going to proceed as planned. So essentially your side of the debate floor ended up winning, for lack of a better term in my brain right now.
Sounds like a good term.
So where does it stand now for you? Because you're still not done.
So as you mentioned, the recall election is going forward now after a judge's order. There were a couple of, delays right after the judge made the order. Those things have been brought up before the court, and summaries of progression of that has been brought before the court. And then the committee has also now asked the court for attorney's fees. The original action was brought by actually the town of Avon against 5 individuals and the recall committee. So the original legal action in its entirety was brought by the town of Avon against the committee. The committee did not initiate any kind of action like this.
Well, the town of Avon didn't necessarily set up the committee, and it all centered around the old Nottingham barn that the public did vote to demolish, but you found, or the Avon Recall Committee found, that there were too many back-end dealings, which is why you wanted to proceed with the recall in a short form version.
Okay, so yeah, so a couple of issues on that. So as far the statute, the Colorado revised statutes is the laws of the state of Colorado. Okay, there's a couple other places where there's executive orders and that kind of stuff, but Colorado revised statutes is the law of the state of Colorado that sits underneath the Constitution of the state of Colorado. Okay, and so usually things that are changed in the course of a legislative action is part of the CRS, the Colorado Revised Statute. So now I can say CRS and not stumble over my own words any further. I'm not the linguist that you are. So, so CRS in the recall statute says that the petition is limited to 200 words as far as the reason to bring forth a recall. So, as you correctly note, the issue about the Hannah Walt barn was brought forth in that 200 words. There was also an issue about taxes that are in the 200 words. There's also an issue about taxes that are brought when a property is sold and bought and sold, 2% tax on our considerable high-priced real estate that drives the economy really drives the economy of the entire county, positively or negatively, depending upon a host of views. So those were the issues brought up in the 200 words. Even getting to those 200 words, there was a lot of resistance from the town and entities to actually settle on what were 200 words, like Eagle Vail was one word, or Eagle, whoever was two or not, that kind of thing. Kind of water in the bridge at this point.
The minutia of politics.
It is
the fun stuff.
Right? It is. And then, so there was a lot of delay going on with that process to begin with. And then the petition goes out, and you have a certain number of days for the petition signers to gather signatures on a recall election petition. So the petitioners. And the question became up in the lawsuit initially was the number of signatures required on the petitions. So the statute, CRS statute, regarding a recall committee states specifically that a recall committee has to be formed of not less than 3 and not more than 5 people. So 3 to 5 people are on the committee. And that committee is responsible for representing the petitioners in all actions going forward. So the only 3 petitioners right now are myself, Tamara Sturgill, the excellent cook that comes in here, and Paul Jenick, who's better known for doing a lot of stuff with the ski sports and ski racing in the community. So those are the only 3 committee members. Everybody outside of that is really not a committee member. And so you hear a lot of harangue, I guess, from the other side, throwing out names that they say are or are not part of the committee. For instance, the Vail Daily has, in their last article about this, has a big picture of Tom Rumler in a Hawaiian shirt, talking at the podium, exercising his free speech rights at the town council meeting, and says that Tom Rumler is a committee member. Well, I wrote back to the Vail Daily that I wanted that corrected, and they told me that I was wasting their time. It's important for any news organization, and you're acting in that function right now, to actually report things that are factual and can be verified. I mean, I'm hitting you off the cuff on this. You can't verify these things, but I can show you these things at another time. And if I say something wrong or we say something wrong, and you want to retract it, I bless that entirely.
Well, when you come on to focus on this topic, the thing that always comes into my head is for the constituents of Avon.
Right.
Why? Because it will cost money on both the recall election and now as a result of this motion that you're filing to have your attorney's fees paid. And I always go back to, but the barn was demolished.
Right.
So why? why go through all this trouble in the first place?
Correct.
When you've got yourself out attorney's fees now, and now you're looking to get recompensation from the town of Avon, and thereby me, because I am an Avon
And me.
resident.
Yeah, right.
So why?
Okay, so what's been represented as far as an election cost that's been in the paper, and those are the only numbers that I truly know as well, is somewhere in the $10,000 to $15,000 range. Language that I had put in before the court in one of our filings with the summary, and proposing the November 2nd date as the date to do the recall, specifically states, and it was language that I specifically put in there, states that this would be the most economical way to go forward with a recall, is to do it concurrent with the general election that's coming out, the first week in November, on the first Tuesday of November. So that language was aped back in town council in a packet. I pointed out from a podium that was actually our language. And so the initial cost, the cost actually to have in a recall election should be in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, as far as I'm aware. The entire legal action brought against the committee and brought against the people and the petitioners is, to me, an egregious insult to the people that are the petition signers. I'm required by law to represent the people who have signed these petitions. There's been a lot of language coming out of town council people, town attorney Paul Weiser, his partners in his firm, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of statements that have not been accurate. They haven't followed the law. They've misrepresented what the law is. The only real ruling we have to this date as far as law comes from the judge in the one statement that they actually asked him to rule upon, which was to make a declaratory judgment as to the number of signatures required to have to have a recall petition. So to me, that would have been a very easy question to have way back when, if they had actually reached out to the committee members, the actual committee members, not people that were making noise around the outside. If they just reached out to me and talked to me, and Eric Heil was previously town attorney, and he's currently and Eric Heil is currently the town manager. So, and I've always had a good interaction with Eric Heil. And I still, to this day, Eric Heil and I talk and discuss things, behind the scenes.
Well,
go ahead.
Unfortunately, Todd, we have run ourselves out of time here.
Yeah.
But always fascinating to have you on to talk about some local politics and continue this conversation at a later date. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention Mine House here in Avon. It's a wonderful little bed and breakfast. You're guaranteed a delightful meal from Tamara, and these guys are going to go hang gliding, learn to hang glide for a couple weeks, and then they'll be back up and running here in late September. So make sure to check out minehouseUSA.com. .com. Book your reservation for Mine House this winter, and we got more Good Morning Vail coming up next.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Follow your favorite extreme sports athletes with the Telly Award-winning show, The Line. If you're an adrenaline junkie and need a daily dose of base jumping, skydiving, highlining, biking, kayaking, and more, then look no further. We've got you covered. Catch JT Holmes, Andy Lewis, Cam Zink, and many more extreme sport athletes here on The Line. Check your local listings for more information.
Each week on Finding the Good Life, we'll chat with experts that will empower you to lead a healthier life.
You'll hear from people with life-changing stories that will inspire you, and we'll take a closer look at what's happening in health and wellness now, so we can make better choices for ourselves and for our families. Journey with me to finding the good life.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history.
All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
All aboard!
Step on. Take a look around. And take a listen. Relax to the rhythm of the train on the tracks. For the kids, and a kid in all of us. The Leadville, Colorado and Southern Railroad.
Good morning, Vail.
All right, boys, we've got a beautiful, I'm in sports mode, talking to a team out there. All right, boys, go get them for the Gipper. Yes, we've got a beautiful day ahead of us here in Eagle County. High of 77 degrees today. Started off a little bit chilly, 46 degrees. I had to wear my little hoodie on Minnie's first walk, and we got some sprinkles. I love the feeling of fall slowly creeping in, and the smoke is kind of cleared out of the air. It really feels like Colorado today. It's going to be a beautiful day. Just about a 10% chance of precipitation, but that likely worked itself out early this morning, and now we should have clear skies the remainder of the day. And looking at the evening hours now, just about a 5% chance of any rain lingering, 45-degree low for the evening. Should be a beautiful big moon in the sky this evening with clear skies and no clouds to cover that guy up. Now we're going to pan the view out, take a look at the national map, try to get a read on what the weather is going to be like over the course of the next 5 to 7 days here. So it is a jumble, just a jumble of high and low pressure systems. So that means really high variability in terms of what our weather is going to be and if there is going to be rain. So at the moment, the jet stream is just kind of flowing everything from a nice south to north and west to east flow. So I'm looking at this low pressure system that's currently in San Diego, and I'm expecting that to be here by about Thursday, and that should give us some rain showers. So for now, here's that nice, but it's a really, really narrow jet stream bring that over to us. So this could change and we could have no precipitation later this week. But as it stands, I am thinking that Thursday we should see some scattered thunderstorms. They should begin en masse Wednesday afternoon, and then they'll work themselves out by the time we get to Friday. But as far as temperatures are concerned, very consistent in the upper 70s to low 80s. It's going to be gorgeous conditions tomorrow for the Huskies golf tournament going on in Gypsum, as well as the Huskies boys soccer game, 6 p.m. Tuesday evening. Beautiful temperatures throughout the rest of this week as we make our slow crawl through August and into September. I cannot wait for September. We're going to take a short break now and come back with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Follow your favorite extreme sports athletes with the Telly Award-winning show, The Line. If you're an adrenaline junkie and need a daily dose of base jumping, skydiving, highlining, biking, kayaking, and more, then look no further. We've got you covered. Catch JT Holmes, Andy Lewis, Cam Zink, and many more extreme sport athletes here on The Line. Check your local listings for more information.
Welcome to Street Magic. I'm Elizabeth Stanton with some of the most terrifying stunts, extraordinary extreme escapes, and the most amazing cutting-edge magicians you'll ever see in one show. Get ready to have your mind turned inside out. The hand is definitely quicker than the eye.
It's fake! It's fake!
It's the fastest half hour in television. Toyota's Race Week takes you inside the high-speed world of NASCAR. Go behind the scenes for a look into the high adrenaline world of motorsports and hear from your favorite drivers as they discuss the drive to a championship. If you love NASCAR, you won't want to miss Toyota's Race Week.
Good morning, Vail.
Oh, it's been a fun Good Morning Vail. Didn't quite go the way that we had planned there. Thought we were going to have a pretty busy show with guests, but thanks to Claire Noble from Vail Symposium for stopping by. It sounds like they've got a wonderful schedule of events lined up. This week, of course, sold out with Judy Woodruff and Al Hunt, but that's going to be a fascinating talk between those two journalists of both broadcast as well as print. They've been around since the 60s. They've really seen it all forms of media. And who knows what media is going to evolve into from here, you know? I mean, Facebook just debuted their metaverse virtual reality technology, which of course creates live 3D avatars for meeting spaces. So you picture yourself working from home, and instead of a Zoom call meeting, you put on your little VR headset and you're popped into a virtual conference room where the rest of your peers are in a virtual conference room. And you know, VR technology isn't perfect right now. Sometimes it's called collision detection when you have an animated video game character. They need to have a mesh of collision detection around them, and then the environment needs to also have that mesh. So a bug could be encountered where your boss is just falling through the conference table or his limbs are flopping about. I'd love to see that. I hope that's the new form of media. We all put on our VR headsets and everything bugs out and people's arms go backwards. I digress. Vail Symposium has some great events set up. Of course, the Thomas Jefferson and Theodore Roosevelt historian will be at the Beaver Creek Chapel next week. VailSymposium.org for a list of all of their upcoming events. And check out Mine House as well if you're looking for a little bed and breakfast. Of course, they are going on vacation to learn how to hang glide for the next few weeks, but when the winter season kicks off, Mine House will be kicking off. They're just located across the street from an easy bus stop that'll take you right up to Beaver Creek. So you can't get much better here in Central Avon. We got a great week of Good Morning Vail in store for you, and I would be remiss if I did not also mention my show, The Scoreboard, premiering tonight at 6 p.m. and then tomorrow on our YouTube channel. We covered the two Battle Mountain Huskies boys soccer games. We also met with Dave and Matt Vans down in Gypsum to see how they custom build your next outdoor adventure van. Keep tuning in to Good Morning Vail each and every weekday live starting at 7 a.m. and get out there and have a fabulous Monday, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Hart.
And I am Mitch English, and welcome to Daily Flash. We got news, entertainment, everything in between.